Alright, we're testing this out. We're going to see how this works. Hello everyone, my name is Clay. If you've never seen me before, hi, I'm a fat, beardy motherfucker. With a bit of a potty mouth when I'm in the mood. I'm doing some errands this morning, and I figured I would test out the idea of this real quick. This is going to be both a little update and a little rant, because I've been seeing on occasion some stuff about emulation and emulators, and the legality of it, and this whole thing, and I just wanted to put my little thoughts out there, and I've got quite a bit of driving, so, you know, figured why not. I have no idea how this is going to come out. This may end up being just for my patrons as a test. So, let's talk about emulation. So, a lot of people are against emulation, and I want to make it very clear that I am not. I am perfectly fine with emulation when it is of products that you cannot purchase legally from the developers or publishers. This kind of goes for piracy to an extent too, although piracy I'm much more okay with now when you're fucking with AAA companies because they're assholes now. Like, fuck Ubisoft in particular and their fucking attitude. Yeah. So, here's what I mean when I say I'm okay with emulation when you can't buy the game. So, right now, if you go onto Steam, you can purchase a legal copy of Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross is a PS1 title. It's from the era of the PS1. If you wanted a PS1 version of Chrono Cross, you can't actually buy it from the developers. I think it's on the PS Store, the PlayStation Store, I think. I have not checked in a very long time. I think they ripped a lot of stuff off of there, so I'm not entirely certain about that one. But you can buy legal versions of Chrono Cross on Steam, and I think other places. I think you can get it on Switch too, and probably the PlayStation, and so on. It's the Radical Dreamers edition. It's like a remaster. I bought that game, so I would not say you could emulate that without buying a copy. Like, if you want to play the PS1 version and you want to download the ISO, buy the Steam version and then just play the PS1 version. Because at that point, you have supported the developers. However, if you wanted to play, say, I don't know, Yokai Watch 3, you can't. Nintendo has shut down the 3DS store. You can't buy a digital copy of Yokai Watch 3 pretty much anywhere. Further still, the only way to buy physical copies of Yokai Watch 3 is on the second-hand market, which means the developers aren't getting any money. Only the retro store or the person that you're purchasing it from get anything from that purchase. So at that point, emulation becomes a viable choice. Especially in the case of something like Yokai Watch 3, where a physical copy of the game, the cart only, we're talking the little tiny 3DS cartridge, that thing is like $300 because they didn't make a whole lot of copies of it. And again, level 5, the guys who make Yokai Watch, they're not going to get a single cent of that $300. You're not giving them $300. You're giving, you know, Joe Schmo who happened to own a copy and is getting rid of it. You're giving that guy $300. He might have spent his $50 buying the copy when it was new. In cases like this, where your only option is the second-hand market, fuck it. Download a ROM, download an ISO, and emulate the damn thing. The developers aren't getting money, and they clearly don't want to sell copies of it anymore. Like, I cracked my 3DS because of this situation. For example, the reason I cracked my 3DS is actually pretty funny. I specifically wanted to get the DLC for Fantasy Life. I bought a physical copy of Fantasy Life when a physical copy of Fantasy Life was $100 for a complete in box. It's no longer $100. It's like worth $50 now. But I realized after I bought it, I couldn't get the DLC. The store was closed. And there was like an entire DLC for Fantasy Life that adds like a whole new island and like all these new villagers and all these new mechanics. It adds a ton of stuff to the game. And if you buy a physical copy of Fantasy Life, you're fucked. You will never play that DLC. You cannot do it. You just can't. In fact, any DLC on the 3DS, because they're all digital, you're fucked. You can't play them. Do you want to play one of the older Pokemon titles? Well, unless it was re-released on the Switch, you ain't playing that shit. You want to play Pokemon Ultra Sun? You want to play Pokemon? Hey, fuck you. That's what Nintendo said. That's what Game Freak said. They said, haha, fuck you, son. You don't get to play it. Unless you want to spend like $30, $40 on the secondhand market for a game that, you know, you can't really do much with anymore because all the servers are turned off and all that shit. Although I think actually Ultra Sun still has like Wonder Trade and stuff active. I have to try it. So in those cases, emulation or the secondhand market is your only choice. And emulation is fine at that point. Like, I'm serious. And I'm not talking even about, like, if you can subscribe to a service to get access. I don't like Nintendo's whole, like, Switch subscription service where they give you a little sprinkling of older games. I don't like that. Because at any point in time, they could rip that game off their service. Or if you stop paying for the service, you lose access to the game. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, just fucking put a digital copy out so that somebody could buy it. I often wonder if the reason that a lot of the console devs do this, because it's mostly console devs. PC gaming doesn't have this problem for a lot of stuff. Because PC gaming is just, we have a different mentality. As people who primarily play on PC, there is a highly... Oh dear, there's a bunch of sand in the street. We have a cop blocking an entire lane because of dirt. It's like a pile of dirt blocking an entire lane. Well, come on, get over. You want to get over, get over. You want to get out from behind the dump truck, get out from behind the dump truck, Mr. Car. You all get the full experience of me driving. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So, like, Nintendo. Nintendo only supports Nintendo. And a lot of Super Nintendo games, a lot of N64 games, a lot of Game Boy, a lot of Game Boy Advanced, a lot of NES games. You can't buy them. You can't play them. There are reasons why the Flintstones at Dinosaur Peak is as expensive in the cartridge that it is. There's a reason that, like, Panic Restaurant, even if they're not good games, they're incredibly hard to find in physical form. They just are. I don't care about owning a physical copy of these games. I'm not a collector. I am not investing my money in these things. I would much rather just experience the game. I'm fine with digital copies of things. And to give you an example, Grandia. The original Grandia is one of my favorite PS1 RPGs, and for the longest time, the only way to play it was emulation or buying a physical copy of it. However, it is now available all over the place. I personally own 2 copies. I own the Steam version, and I own the Switch version. I can play Grandia on 2 different systems. I will not emulate Grandia. I'll emulate Breath of Fire 3. I haven't talked this much in a while. I will absolutely emulate Breath of Fire 3, because I can't buy Breath of Fire 3 on Steam. I can't buy it on my systems. PSP games? Oh my god. Did you know there's a PSP game called Tales of the World Radiant Mythology? It is a fairly unknown PSP game, and that's partially because it's in the Tales series. And it's a weird game. Because the idea of that one was you made a character. So you made a custom character for a Tales game. And then you played in this sort of like multiverse setting with a bunch of characters from, at the time, existing Tales franchises. And you could make parties with like characters from Symphonia and Abyss in the same group. And it was kind of dungeon crawly and like all sorts of stuff. You can't buy it. You can't play it. The only way to play it now would be to find a physical copy, and that motherfucker is hard to find because, again, there weren't a lot made, and it was not a popular game. So, what are my options? Pay, the $100 for a PSP title, plus the PSP system that somebody hopefully didn't break? Or just download a PSP emulator through RetroArch and play the goddamn thing? I know what I'm doing. I'm not made of fucking money. So, this all comes up because I am selling my 3DS games. I'm getting rid of them. I just sent 2 of them off to a friend of mine. Neon Bird Gaming here on YouTube. Go check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description box. And yeah, you know, he wanted my my 2 Legend of Zelda 3DS games, which I had were Link Between Worlds and the Ocarina of Time 3D. And I actually had like the Player's Choice versions, the greatest hits. So yeah, fucking, I sent them to him. Because if I want to play those games, I'm just going to emulate them at this point. I'm just going to emulate them on my PC, or I'm going to fucking emulate the ROMs that I dumped from my fucking cartridges onto my 3DS. So, you know, a lot of people wanted to decry emulation, saying it's theft and stuff. And you know what? It is, if you can purchase the game. If you can buy the game you're emulating, then yeah, it's technically theft. That's accurate. I don't necessarily give a shit. It doesn't bother me none. But yeah, that's technically theft. You could have bought it. You just chose not to. But if you're going to emulate a game that you physically cannot buy, like, I'm thinking I might try Yokai Watch 3 one of these days. I have Yokai Watch 2, and I really liked Yokai Watch 2. But, like, I own a digital copy. I bought a digital copy. It's sitting on my 3DS of Yokai Watch 2. But I'm not going to pay $300 fucking dollars for Yokai Watch 3 just to try it and hope that I stick with it long enough to make a $300 investment into a fucking video game worth a damn. I'm not doing it. Okay, that's my emulation rant. Because every time I see emulation discussion pop up anywhere, this is the rant that pops into my head. So here we are. So, emulation okay, as long as you cannot physically purchase the game in some fashion legally. That's my view. So if you can buy the game from the developers and give the developers to people who made the game monies, or whoever owns the property, then emulate to your heart's content. As far as I'm concerned, the people who made the damn game clearly no longer want money for it. Level 5 clearly do not want money for their Yokai Watch series. At all. Because, I mean, they're not selling it anymore. You can't buy it anymore. That very clearly says to me, we're done with it. We wash our hands of it. We're done. Alright, now for the little channel update. Outside of this rant, there's going to be one more video. It's going to be on a dungeon crawling RPG called like Chronicles of Veldaja, being made by a solo dev. It's an early access game. The dev asked me to wait to make a video on it. He gave me a key. They asked me to wait to make a video on it until their update, which happened a couple days ago at the time of recording this, because they were adding like a new class and some stuff. I'm going to make a first impressions, first impact on that. And then I'm going to be taking an extended break from YouTube because I have a lot of stuff I need to take care of this year. My wife and I are planning to move. You know, it's time for us to get out of Orlando. We live in Orlando, and Orlando, Florida's rent prices have gotten to be to the point where we can no longer sustain living here. So we're planning to move. We have a location we're planning to go to. I've already found a couple of apartments up there that are within our price range. I just need to use what free time I have that I would normally use for making videos to either work overtime or take care of like paring down the stuff that we have in our apartment to help, because we were originally going to hire movers. That's a bit too expensive. So we're just going to move ourselves. So we're going to be like, I'm going to be selling off a bunch of stuff through eBay, and stuff coming March. And, you know, I just need to get that done. I have to use what free time, like I'm driving around today. My little thing likes to slowly lower itself for weight. Yeah, that's what I was doing today, was mailing a couple stuff out that I got rid of. I need to put together all of my miniatures that I have so I can easily transport them. I'm actually going to be building a little miniatures transport thing. I want to paint them. And when I was going through all the hobbies I have, which is my weekly journal, my miniatures, and videos, I was like, okay, which one of these things could I drop and not have a really nasty, like, negative happen? And it's really, honestly, the YouTube videos. I want to get my miniatures done and painted. My ogres. I have ogres for Age of Sigmar. I want to get those done. I want to keep writing my journal. I'm up to 90 weeks without missing one, and I want to keep that up. And I need time to like work overtime at work at my new job, or relax and stuff. So I was just like, you know what? My computer's having problems keeping up with modern gaming anyway. Let's just take a break. I am not quitting YouTube. I'm not going to say I'm quitting YouTube. This is just going to be like, y'all ain't going to see videos from me for the most part. Maybe occasionally one or two here or there, but like I'm not going to be making them like every month. I'm not going to try to make them every week. You might get one every 3 or 4 months, but just consider it a break until like fucking November. Because my hope is to move, pay off my wife's computer. Once we've settled in, I will get a new computer, and then I'll be good to go. And then I'll get back to it. I also have to wonder about the internet situation, because right now I have fiber, and where I'm planning to move, I don't think they have fiber, so my upload speeds might be absolutely abysmal, which will make uploading videos a nightmare. And if that is the case, then I'm probably going to do videos very infrequently. Because, right now it takes literally minutes to upload, like, a video, because I have fiber, and it's a 300 megabit per second upload speed. Uploads happen very, very quickly where I am right now. And where I'm going, the download speed's great, and I have to have those because I work from home, but I don't know what the upload speeds are like. If they're at least like 30 to 50 megabits, that's probably good. But if they're like what I used to have, which was 10, or actually used to have 5, that would take hours to upload things. I would literally have to spend like overnight rendering a video just to cut the fucking file size down kind of shit. So, and I'm not going back to that. So if that's where it goes, that's just done. Alright, I think that's enough of a rant. That was a long enough video. I'm still driving. I'm going to an office supply store to buy a tote. A tote to make my own custom miniatures case with magnetized stuff. I found Duncan Rhodes, the guy who does like the whole two-thing coats thing. If you know anything about miniatures, you probably have heard of the two-thing coats Duncan Rhodes guy. He did a video on making your own custom like miniatures carrying case for fairly cheap, and it uses magnetic. What's the word? Like magnetic sheets that are adhesive that you use to make like magnets, like fridge magnets. It's craft stuff. I got like a pack of 4 of those off of Amazon for like $5. A bunch of like tiny little neodymium magnets for another like $10. Not even 10. Another $5. Like a pack of 100 of these little tiny things. For like $5. And then I'm gonna go get this. It's called a Really Useful Box. That's the brand. Weirdly enough, the brand is quite literally Really Useful Box. And it's like an 8.1 liter box. It's like 14 inches by 11 inches by 5 inches. So it's 5 inches tall, which for ogres is tall enough for most of them. Oddly enough, it wouldn't hold Beastclaw Raiders, because a guy at a game store sent me a picture of how tall a Beastclaw Raider on Stonehorn like leader is, and with their spear, they're fucking like 7 inches tall. They're like this. My buddy Mike is going to be giving me a Kronspine Incarnate. That thing's like this. It's like 9 inches tall apparently. So those will not fit in this box. Not upright. Depending on their base size, they may actually fit like sticking across, because it's 14 by 11, and I am going to magnetize like the sides specifically for this situation. I don't have any beast claws though. I have Mournfang. I don't know how tall the Mournfang are going to be. They're probably going to be over 5, but if I magnetize one of the sides, I can like stick them to the side and they'll just stick out. That's what I'm planning on doing anyway. So, yeah, I wanted to get this case today, get it home. Apparently you want to let it let the glue set for like a full 24 hours before you do anything with it. So I'm going to get it, set it up this morning, let that start gluing, and then I'm gonna probably today, because today is Saturday the 10th. I think it's the 10th. Yeah, it's the 10th, February 10th. I'm gonna be doing just putting my minis together. I don't really feel like playing any video games. Just haven't been in the mood. I'm gonna put my ogres together so I can get them out of the boxes and glue their little magnets. Because I'm also curious if I can do the magnets and then magnetize my priming stick that I have. I have a paint stirrer, the wooden one. If I put one of the strips of magnet stuff on there, if I have extra, I could glue that down, and then I could literally sit them with their magnets on it, and that will help hold them while I spray them. I will say, putting together my ogre, I put together 4 lead belchers yesterday. They are surprisingly easy. Which is good. That's what I wanted. The fucking, Caradrin, when I built them, oh my god. Those things were nightmarish because they're so fucking small. Ogres are big boys. They ain't got no problem. So, it's Boston Market. Too bad. Boston Market is gone. Boston Market closed down. Sadness. Alright. I think that will be enough for today. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Like I said, I'm going to be taking an effective break, but if I get an indie game that I want to cover, or if I get something I specifically want to do, I asked for a copy of Minami Lane before I made this decision, so if they send me a copy, I'll probably do that. I do have 2 videos I need to do a second look on, but those are going to wait until I move and have the new computer. Because at that point, they're going to have so many updates. They might even have exited early access at that point. I don't know. So, but as always, thank you so very much for watching. Stay nerdy. Hope you didn't mind the weird formatting because, this is how the video came out. Haha. I'll catch y'all later. See ya.